11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. What a fight! I think Canelo won it.
Juan, the Hispanic causing panic, Lascano.
Wearing black with white, also weighing in at 167.6 pounds. In his professional career, 54 victories, including 36 big wins by knockout, only one defeat with 2 draws, and he's undefeated for 6 years, and considered by many to be, pound for pound, the best in the world. He's the former 2-time light middleweight world champion, former middleweight world champion, former light heavyweight world champion, the reigning, defending super middleweight champion of the world, damas y caballeros de Guadalajara, Jalisco, México, representando al gran campeón, Saúl Canelo.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cinco de Mayo, Sunday. Make sure you hit the like button. If you're listening right now on the archive, make sure you hit the like. Let's get to 100 likes. Every time you press the like button, you get us that much closer to the goal. We've been a little short for the goal lately, but it's okay. It's just a goal. You know what I mean? But let's get to 100. I know we could do it. I appreciate everybody's support, everybody who listens, etc. And for those that watch and you know you watch and you pretend like you don't watch and I saw D-Style say something because somebody sent me a clip but you really are watching, you can hit the like button. It's not that big of a deal, like you don't gotta tell your hombres, you don't gotta tell them, that you hit the like button. You know what I mean? Like it's just you're a closet fan. It's okay. Just hit it. Just hit the like. It's all good. But look, I appreciate everyone who's tuning in. Anthony Sanchez, Andre Rodriguez, whether you're listening on X, whether you're listening on YouTube, I appreciate it. If you're on X, you come to YouTube. D-Style Boxing is the channel. Hit the bell button that you're notified every time D-Style Boxing comes on live. All right? I know a lot of people have been saying, hey, I'm not getting notifications. Make sure you hit the bell button. Make sure you hit the all. That way you get it every time. You know what I mean? Remy with a super chat. I got money. My money's worth. Feliz Cinco de Mayo, D-Style. Hey, shout out to you. The Battle de Puebla. When we whooped some French ass. You know what I mean? But ironically, I think WWE was over there in France getting their ass whooped by Canelo's pay-per-view. But it's okay. It's just a thing to do, I guess. This week. But look, shout out to the WWE. They're in France. That's from what I read. Okay. Unrelated. Where do we even start? Where do we go with this, ladies and gentlemen? Let's dive in. Can we go to the highest platform and dive in here? You know what I mean? Let's dive in. Ladies and gentlemen, Saúl Canelo Alvarez defeated Jaime Mungia. He controlled the action for the majority of the fight. Mungia was bigger. Mungia probably stronger, younger, in his prime, nothing to lose. Some said he was dangerous. I guess a fighter like Mungia is always going to be dangerous, but um, I felt like from the fourth round on, it was all Canelo. To be honest with you, I give Mungia round one. It was a field out round, but for the most part, like Mungia just outworked him. Round two, I thought was a close round, but I gave it to Mungia. But he could argue it for Canelo, but I gave it to Mungia. Round three, I gave it to Mungia as well, although I do think it was competitive, but I thought Mungia won. And then round four, the knockdown happens. And then for me, like Canelo just controlled the fight from there on out. I gave Mungia round nine, another competitive round that I felt Mungia won, but you could argue maybe 11, but I give it to Canelo. That's just how I saw this fight, man. 8 rounds to 4 with a knockdown, and after round 4, it was not to me anyway. Especially after rewatching it, and you could just see there was no Canelo easily marks very easily, and there was no marks on his face. A lot of those punches were being blocked, partially blocked, rolled a little bit. Like for the most part, Canelo did not take a lot of damage, a lot of punishment in this fight. He just didn't. He looked really fresh at the end of the fight. Um, his stamina looked good. I mean, there was a lot of questions about his stamina, even for me. I thought the stamina looked really good. I think a lot of those flurries from Mungia, don't get me wrong, he did get some good leather in on Canelo, right? And when you throw almost 600 punches, you're going to get some leather in. There's no doubt about that. But Mungia was landing at about in a 20 percentile, like mid 20 percentile. So Canelo's defense, according to the statistics, was still solid. It was still good. Now I'm going to give some honest assessments in a little bit, but just for face value, I thought it was a good performance. I saw some people say carried Mungia. Look, I'm not going to go that far. I don't think he carried him, but in the fight, I do think he carried him in the 12th. Look, I do think he hurt Mungia really good, and he just didn't go for the kill. Maybe it's a respect he asked from Mungia, or maybe I suspect that Canelo's being careful about not taking unnecessary risk in the ring, so he doesn't hurt his wrists again or get a hand injury of some sort. So he'll like at that point, even the punches he was throwing, they were crisp. They were still like nice, crisp, hard shots, but they're very compact. He wasn't really winding up that much. He did it sometimes, but he didn't wind up a lot with his shots. He didn't really load up with his shots a lot, like he could have, in my opinion. And I think he's conscious of, not taking unnecessary injuries or getting unnecessarily injured, I should say. Those are my thoughts, okay? I got some of you right now just lurking, bro. Well, what's going on? Nobody's got nothing to say? We're just going to lurk in the shadows? That's all we're going to do? We're just going to lurk in the shadows, right? Like, you guys ain't happy at Canelo won or what? What's going on? Is this a funeral? Are we a little bit sad today? What's going on right now? Remy says, was Sean Porter's hating or biased after the fight? I didn't see Sean Porter's, did he watch the Zone? I watched the Amazon Prime one, to be honest. So that's where the fight was ordered by me. So there you go. Lady Chen, good fight, but I knew he wouldn't be able to take Mungia out, to be honest. Now, what's next for Canelo? I am going to say this. Obviously, we know Mungia has a hell of a chin. Mungia can take a shot. Mungia is strong. He's young. So we know we've seen him take big shots before. I think he took pretty good damage in this fight. But here's the thing. I actually do think Canelo could have taken him out. But in trying to do so, he would be risking injuring himself. He would risk. He would have to really load up on those shots, and if a punch lands wrong or on his dome or it's blocked by Mungia. It could hurt his hand that way, and to me, like I think that was a deterrent. That's my opinion. Because I think he had Mungia. I think Mungia. If this was a 15-round fight, ladies and gentlemen, Mungia wasn't making it to 15. Mungia was done after the 11th. He was done. Canelo hurt him with a really good shot, and he just laid back a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give some honest assessment here. Look, I've been following Canelo before his fight with Miguel Cotto's brother, when most of you saw him. Okay, I was watching him on Mexican television fighting. I still remember him knocking fools out in Mexico and talking about him. And so he was well known amongst in Mexico. He was well known amongst like diehard Mexican fight fans, especially those that watch like the fights on Azteca. And Canelo was, at the time anyway, I remember looking at him and saying, he's going to be something. Like I didn't think it would be this big. I'm not going to act like I'm this fortune teller. And I knew for a fact he was going to be this future pound for pound. Like you never quite know that, but I knew he was going to be something, right? I knew this is somebody to look out for. Definitely a future world champion. And when he fought Cotto's brother, I talked him up a little bit, and I thought he looked good in the fight. He was only 19 years old at the time, but he was hurt in the fight, and I still remember like even I had like my kind of questions after that, like damn, like look, if Cotto's brother like fucking hurt him, imagine when he steps up. So like that was obviously there, but slowly but surely, like Canelo's rise happened, and I had my criticisms. In fairness, I'm not gonna act like I didn't. I did have my criticisms of Canelo on the come up. Like the catch weight for his first title fight, I didn't like that, but I never liked catch weights. I didn't like some of the opponents early on, but then again, people need to remember he was very young. Like even if I look in hindsight, even some of my criticisms perhaps were just too harsh. I mean, the guy was very young, and he did eventually. All the guys that they said he wasn't going to fight, he fought all of them. All of them. He fought all of them. All right. So it just is what it is. And people bring up the Charlos, bro. Were you guys not around? Well, Canelo was at 154 pounds, bro, fighting for championships. The Charlos were the same age as him. We're still fighting 8-rounders, bro. Like, did you not understand that? They were fighting 8-rounders, bro. It wasn't until Canelo went to middleweight that that finally the Charlo stepped up and there was some talk about it. All right? There was some talk about it. I know, Aztec, I was not a Canelo hater. I keep my same standards throughout, right? The things I criticize Canelo about, I still stand by, right? I don't like the con fight. It is what it is. And we're going to talk about some things right now as far as what I will criticize him for if he does certain things. But here's the thing. And another thing, before I move on with Canelo, I'm definitely still, and Calix said it, he is a fan of Mungia. I'm a fan of Mungia too, man. His stock. So don't listen to new breed boxing fans that say stupid shit like, oh, no, losing is losing, winning is winning. It's about your own. No, your stock could go up in a loss. All right? Mungia fought like a warrior. Mungia came to fight. Mungia came to win. And when Mungia fights, he's getting my money. Jermell Charlo lost, but he lost in disgrace. He came to collect a paycheck. He ran around the ring while getting dominated and getting outboxed by Canelo. and didn't try to do anything to try to win that fight. So no, not all losses are equal. And sometimes when you lose, your stock goes up. Jaime Mungia's stock went up. That's what happened. Okay. So with that said, shout out to the one and only Jaime Mungia. All right. Jaime Mungia is an action star. I've been saying for the longest, it doesn't matter what this guy's record is. It doesn't matter how many times he loses. It doesn't matter to me. You put him in the right fights, he'll take care of business. And when it comes to Berlanga, if you want to do a Mexico versus Puerto Rico fight, Mungia is the fight to make. Mungia versus Berlanga. There you go. And Mungia will shred that dude apart. He would fuck up Edgar Berlanga. Make no mistake about it. Andre Rodriguez says it took very, very long Mungia to step up, and I criticized him for that and for a long time. Today, you got a new fan with me from Derevyanchenko to Canelo. Very good performance. Hey, look, 100%. Shout out to Lady Chan. How are you doing? Shout out to JC. Shout out to John. I want to see Mungia fight Berlanga. I think that's the fight to make. The fight I don't want to see is Canelo versus Berlanga. I don't want to see that fight. That's too easy for Canelo, number one. That's like stealing money. That's like stealing candy from a baby. Whether it happens or not, out of my control, I don't know. But I just want to go on record that that's a fight I don't want to see. That is a fight I will criticize, and it's a fight I have no interest in seeing. Just point blank. I'm going to put that out there. I didn't mind this fight. I thought the Mungia fight was a good fight, but I don't want to see Berlanga versus Canelo. Just going to go on record and say that. All right. Let's talk about Canelo. Let's just assess a little bit. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm obviously going to be nitpicking. Okay? Just for the record. But I want to keep it real with a couple of things. Some positives and some negatives. First, the negatives, and then I'll do the positives. The one thing, and I think I know what it is, but I don't know for sure, right? And maybe a little bit was Mungia's style, maybe a little, like it could be a mix of things, but Canelo's hand speed wasn't quite the same, like I'm used to seeing. It hasn't in a while, but he's not really throwing combinations like he used to. He doesn't seem as explosive as he used to be. He's still explosive. He's still fast. Like, don't get me wrong. I still think he's the best at 168 pounds. You know what I mean? I still think he's one of the top fighters in the world. I'm not saying he's not any of those things, right? But there is, again, I don't know if it's slippage or I don't know if it's just the strategy in which he used in his last recent fights, but the hand speed doesn't seem to be the same. That's number one. That's the first thing that's standing out to me. The other one is a waist movement. Canelo used to bend at the waist a lot better before. Like, you know what I mean? He used to, it was just more fluid. He was good at slipping jabs and all that. And this time, and again, keep in mind, this could totally be, it's just like maybe it was a combination of Mungia's style and what was working against Mungia, right? So what I could see is, okay, well, I'm gonna let him tee off because after Mungia tees off, he's squared up, and then it's my turn, right? And so I could see that element, right? But and I'm not saying he didn't bob and weave a little bit, John. Well, what I'm saying is it's not the same. Like it didn't look the same in this fight, and I don't know if it was by design or if it's slippage. I'm just telling you guys what I'm seeing, right? Um, Also, I think he's conscious of, he's an older lion now, and he's got to take care of himself better. So, um, when you're young, you tend to not think as much when you take risk, right? So maybe he's saying to himself, I'm gonna develop a way to win fights where I could still win, but I don't necessarily need to knock the guy out, right? So I'm gonna call it power pot shotting, right? Because he's not pot shotting, but he's landing power shots, but it's the same kind of strategy as pot shotting, right? And it's kind of what he was doing at points in his fight. However, that's just an observation. Again, I don't know. But there's some, if you want to call it, diminished abilities slightly. I guess you could say they're there, but I do have some positives. His stamina was good. I know there was a lot of questions. I know, like in the Bivol fight, he looked extremely tired after like 4 rounds. It was bizarre. I was like, what? And then like the John Ryder fight, like and the Triple G third fight, there was like this wall he hit like after like the 6th, 7th round, where he was still like winning, but he wasn't like dominating like he was in the earlier rounds. There was like a wall that he hit in those fights. But in this fight, he was it was good. Like the stamina was on point, right? He did not look exhausted. He didn't look tired. His punch output was relatively good. His accuracy was, the dude was done over 40%. So like it is what it is. You know what I mean? So I think the stamina was awesome. I think his timing was precise, right? Precision. There was times when like, and he caught on to this right away. When Mungia would throw his right hand, right, like a looping right, and miss, like Canelo, it reached a point Canelo was seeing that coming a mile away. And Canelo was like stepping back. He already started the process of stepping back to make a miss and starting to swing with the uppercut. Like he already started the process as soon as Mungia was throwing the punch. So Mungia would fall over and Canelo would, bam, hit him with the uppercut. I thought it was a thing of beauty. And then, of course, there was the uppercut with the knockdown. His punch selection and his repertoire was really good. I was very impressed with his punch selection. And I kind of expected that. I expected the hook. The hook wasn't as effective as I thought it would be, but don't get me wrong, it was still very effective. His right hand was landing. He was bobbing. The head of Mungia was snapping back so many times when he would do that. And then, of course, the shots just crisp in there, even to the body. Like it's almost like, I don't want to say careful, but he's just crisp with the shots. You know what I mean? Crisp, tight, and hard. Boom, boom, boom. And didn't quite. He was more calculated with them, right? So I think it's very wary and kind of very like I'm gonna be more precise, right? Versus anything, right? Um, so that's that. So I thought that was good. Another good thing, um, like the poise, and I think this is where experience was the big factor, right? Canelo's poise, man, like it's Mungia at times looked tight in there, even in the early rounds that he was winning. Like everything's mechanical. It was more mechanical than Canelo. Canelo was just smoother in there. Like, you know what I mean? It was more fluid, and I think that made a difference. Like it really did. Even in the early rounds, like I'm watching these rounds and I'm saying to myself, he's setting them up. Like because he would go to the body and he was lowering the guard of Mungia, and I knew there was something he had up his sleeve. And it came out in the fourth round. That was a beautiful knockdown. I think Canelo controlled the fight for the most part after that. And there was a couple of Canelo has like those like where he turns his head when a guy hooks. He did that a couple of times in this fight. And I think some people really thought Mungia clocked him with a big hook or something. Look, we all know that Mungia is a hard puncher. We know Mungia can really damage guys, right? Canelo had a clean face. There was no markings on his body from body shots. I invite people to go back and rewatch the fight. A lot of those rallies from Mungia, a lot of that just wasn't landing. A lot of it did, but I would say that 28% of punches landed by Mungia, whatever it was that Boxrick says he landed, I would say it's probably 10% lower than that, like, quite frankly. Another thing, and this is the one that I love. And he took it out of the holster. And it was the jab. The good old-fashioned jab. He started popping that jab like with single and pop. You know what I mean? And sometimes he would boom, boom. Like, this is the best Canelo's jab has looked since I think the second Gennady Golovkin fight. What do you mean? Like, I'm just telling you guys, the jab was on point. And it was a pleasant surprise. Canelo has a really good jab. It was good to see him use it again. He held it in the holster for the first few rounds, and then he took it out. And I think it took Mungia off his game a little bit. Like you know what I mean? Like for a second, he was like, "Whoa, now I got to deal with this." And he would just pop, like the way he was popping it. It was, like you could change levels with it. It was beautiful, right? And I think it was good to see the jab, and what the jab did. Like if you guys, Mungia threw a lot of punches, he did, but his output went down a little bit. It really did. And I think he was thinking of the counters, right, and then having to deal with the incoming jab, that stick. Right, because those brief seconds of thinking here, thinking there, throughout an entire course of a fight, will bring down your output. And Mungia threw like over 400 punches in 8.5 rounds against Ryder. He threw over 100 punches in round 12 against Erenchenko. This is a guy that can unload and unleash punches, and he was never really able to do that with Canelo in the entire fight. And I think a lot of it was, first of all, the counter punching. Second, Canelo was making a miss and hit nothing but air more than he's used to, right? So he was missing air, hitting Guante, and then when he finally hit Canelo, it was at the end of his shots. And just think about it, right? If you throw a combination, if you throw like 10 straight punches, you're losing a little bit of steam, right? Throughout the course of that of those shots. So for all the touting of Mungia is so good, putting punches together, this and that, like Canelo had an answer for it. And that was that. So the jab to me was and people are going to say the uppercut, and if you say the uppercut, I'm not going to argue with you. He knocked him down with an uppercut. He was timing it with the uppercut. It was a beautiful thing. But for me, and maybe because I've been wanted to see it for so long, to this degree, was the jab. I really liked the jab. Okay, great job. Okay, let's talk about the salty motherfuckers. All right. There's always dudes like every time Canelo loses, they can't shut the fuck up, and they can't like. Although in this social media era, really, they've only seen him lose once. If you want to count the Canelo loss to Mayweather, I mean, well, I guess yeah, that was a social media era too. But they have everything to say. If for whatever reason, if Canelo didn't win the fight, or if Canelo loses, and it's whatever, right? But they get a little bit quiet every time Canelo wins a fight. They get very quiet. And then you have the salty motherfuckers like Paulie Malignaggi and Teddy Atlas and who else we got out there? Like, bro, they're salty as fuck, bro. Salty motherfuckers. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like I am sorry, dudes are hating, bro. Paulie, you said Canelo could lose this fight. So how are you going to criticize a dude for beating somebody you said he could lose to? Make that make sense. Oh, okay. You were doing the whole hater, put him in a lose-lose thing is what you were doing. That's what you're doing. The good old hater, lose-lose situation, right? Okay. Look, I'm a very nostalgic guy. I love boxing history. I respect the warriors of the past. And anyone who's followed for years knows this. Okay? Like everybody knows this, guys. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. But when these guys are there, like when these guys are talking and they're saying certain things. So like, I don't even know where to start. Let's start with Teddy Atlas. Teddy Atlas keeps doing this thing, and I know you guys been hearing him long enough. He keeps doing it, and it's like, look, I really don't. I'm not criticizing the guy. I'm really not. And then he like, yes, sure. That's what you're doing is the definition of criticizing. Which I'm not saying don't criticize them, but don't say you're not doing it when you're doing it, right? Yeah, I know you Mexican fans are going to come at me. They're going to come at me. The Canelo fans are going to come at me. This obsession with the Canelo fans when you address Canelo. Who are these fans, by the way? I never see these weirdos in my chat. I'm a Canelo fan. I never see these, for some reason, and I'm not saying they don't exist, by the way. There is some diehard, over the line, crazy Canelo fans, right? He's a very popular fighter, so he's going to have a section of crazies, right? I'm not denying that. But what I'm saying is you're attracting the crazies by design. Like that's what you're asking for. Like that's what I don't see them in my chat. I don't see them here. Even when I say I don't want to see the Berlanga fight, I don't see them over here like attacking me or nothing. You know what I mean? If I bring up how I didn't like the the whole catch weight thing and like the 155-pound thing, if I bring all that up, like For some reason, those crazed lunatics don't show up in my chat. Okay? But Jesus Christ, bro. Let me tell you something. For the listening on X, the listening on YouTube, shout out to y'all. Teddy, you keep talking about how Mexican fight fans don't know anything about the legends of the sport. How the fuck do you think those Mexican fight fans are fight fans? Most Mexican fight fans are generational, brother. Most of them are second, third generation, fourth generation boxing fans. Most Mexican fight fans, all right, were in our fucking diapers, sitting there watching Chavez. Okay, I'm not that young. Okay, I'm a little older than that, but still, maybe I wasn't wearing diapers. Okay, before somebody called, I didn't have diapers on. I wasn't that young when Chavez was fighting, but all right, I was young, damn it. Okay, but what was I? 92, 6, 7. I was like 8 years old when I watched the Mal Dictator fight, so could have been in diapers. You know what I mean? But here's the thing. Like, can somebody explain to me, like, when it comes to like this dude who's reading off of, and I'm glad he posted the names there, John, because I remember the motherfucker took out a piece of paper. You Mexican fight fans don't know anything about. You don't know anything about Vicente Saldivar. You don't know anything about Vicente Saldivar. Who the fuck is Vincent Saldivar? What the fuck does that do? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know who that dude is, bro. You can't even pronounce his name, Teddy. Teddy never watched this dude fight. Teddy's so full of shit, bro. Teddy probably thinks he's southpaw. I'm sorry, Orthodox. Okay? He probably thinks he's an Orthodox fighter. For all you know. He doesn't know anything about this dude. He probably knows about Vicente Ruben Olivares. But then again, he goes, Ruben Olivares. You don't know anything about Ruben Olivares. And I mean, what are we doing, bro? Like, Teddy, don't tell Mexican fight fans what they've watched or not watched, or that they don't know anything about the history. The same with Paulie. Like, how about y'all shut the fuck up is what you should do. All right? That's what you should do. You don't know about this, you know about that. I would argue that Mexican fight fans are the most generational fight fans in all of boxing, bro. That's why the fan base is reliable. That's why the fan base puts money where their mouths are. That's why the fan base is so loyal. That's why they show up to these arenas. That's why the fan base supports. Because it's tradition. What the fuck does Teddy Adams know about that? How about you need to sit this one out, Teddy. And if Pro Box TV ever wants to invite me to one of their little streams, which they won't, I'll be more than happy to debate Teddy Atlas about it. I'll be more than happy to do it. Because ain't nobody correcting this dude. I love a lot of these Mexican legends. But you ain't going to sit here, okay, and tell me that Zarate had a better career than Saul Canelo Alvarez. You're not gonna sit there, who I respect, he's a legend. You're not gonna tell me that Lupe Pintor. You're not gonna tell me that Lupe Pintor had a better career than Saul Canelo Alvarez. You're just not going to tell me that. You're not going to tell me. And God forgive me. And he's my personal favorite of all time. When I was a teenager, he was my idol. But you're just not going to tell me that Eric Morales had a better overall career than Saul Canelo Alvarez. You're not going to do it, bro. If you want to argue, Marquez, okay, fine. Chavez, I get it. Ruben Olivares, I get it, dude. But when you start reading off a list of 20, 30 Mexican legends say they all did way better than Canelo. And they all fought everybody. All the time, every time. Fights don't happen sometimes, for whatever the reason is, right? But what do you mean, Teddy? Why didn't Morales and Barrera fight Marquez? Why didn't that fight happen? This whole they used to fight everybody. Everybody always fought every time, every single day. Stop. Bro, I'm a nostalgic guy, but you got to stop, bro. You got to stop. You just got to stop. You know, if you want to tell me Muhammad Ali fought everybody, makes sense. If you want to tell me Evander Holyfield, I talked to Joe Bieber earlier, and he mentioned Holyfield. I agree, Holyfield fought everybody. But don't tell me that everybody back in the day fought everybody, and Lennox Lewis didn't fight everybody. Riddick Bowe didn't fight everybody. Mike Tyson didn't fight everybody. You kidding me? You got do we want to talk about the color line? When a whole race of people wasn't allowed to compete for the World Heavyweight belt and for a portion, even all the other belts? They had murderers' rolls named after them and shit. Do we need to talk about when the mafia ran shit and fixed fights? Do we want to talk? What are we doing here? It's getting ridiculous, bro. You're lying. You're lying to the public, and people are just taking your word for it because they don't know shit about the history of the sport. What the fuck are we talking about, dude? Oh, Canelo, he's the product of this. Canelo is not the product of a Tank Davis or Ryan Garcia. Canelo's not of that cloth. He's got the best resume in boxing today and one of the best resumes ever. Spare me. Just spare me this whole, he fought these guys when they were 33. You know Canelo is 33 right now. You want Benavidez to fight him, though? Are you going to say he was old when Benavidez, if they fight him, Benavidez beats him? Are you going to say he was old? Though you want to say all the dudes Canelo fought were old? What are we doing, bro? In the history of the sport, I've seen, and I could talk about more blatant avoiding of fights, okay, in other eras than you could this era. I don't care what anybody says. Point blank. Ray Robinson didn't fight Charlie Burley, Julio. It is what it is. Okay? Ray Leonard didn't fight Hawk, bro. Fought Arguello. What's his name again? Pryor. I was calling him Richard Pryor. But he fought Aaron Pryor, bro. He didn't fight Aaron Pryor. Aaron Pryor went to the fucking. He went and called him out and burnt right there in his face, bro. Now I'm not saying I'm not saying he ducked him and he did this. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he didn't fight Aaron Pryor. Why didn't he fight Aaron Pryor? Stop giving this fucking. Stop lying to people, bro. They all back in the day they fought everybody. Everybody fought everybody every time. Paulie, you didn't fight everybody. You didn't fight Keith Thurman. Yeah, in my era, everybody wanted to just be the best. Motherfucker, you didn't fight Keith Thurman when it was Thurman's shot for you to fight him, bro. You fought a dude going up 2 weight classes and Adrian Broner. And you lost. So sit this one out, Paulie. What are we doing, bro? You're lying. You're like, the problem with what they're doing is that they're lying. And I'm tired of the lying, bro. I just am. This dude's reading off a piece of paper, right? Like, what are we doing, bro? I mean, Teddy Atlas will be like, yeah, he's not a real fighter like Marquez. Look, bro. Love Marquez. One of my favorite fighters, right? Teddy likes to point out how, like, Canelo lost to Mayweather, so somehow that's like a big strike against them, right? Brother, look, I get it, like I do, but the reality is, like Marquez lost to fucking Freddie Norwood, bro. Now, Freddie Norwood was a good fighter, okay? He was elusive. He was good. There's no shame in losing to Freddie Norwood, but my point is, this is my point. My point is that was Freddie Norwood, not Floyd Mayweather. Okay? That's my point. He lost to Chris John, bro. Now, I felt that's a fight you could argue for him, but he lost, bro. Okay? So spare me, bro. You could spare me. Like, it is what it is, bro. And he also lost to Mayweather, so what the fuck does that even mean, bro? Like it just is what it is. You know what I mean? Paulie, and this I'm going to address a lot of things what you guys are saying. Okay, I'm not. Just for the record, I'm not making an argument that Canelo shouldn't fight David Benavidez. That's not what I'm saying. Before some idiots, oh look at what he's saying. He's saying that. Like, shut up. All right. Here's what I'm saying. But let me first address this. Paulie Malignaggi reminds me of this. You know, I'm going to leave that dude alone. Paulie Malignaggi is out here like, yeah, yo, shooting gum shit. These Mexican legends, they don't like Canelo. Yeah, and then these fans, they attack the legends. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like, I just don't, again, the generalities that people make, bro. Like, god damn. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I know there should be dude on here like, Lupe Pintor said that Canelo is a disgrace. Lupe Pintor said, he said that Canelo's no good. He's no good. Lupe Pintor. But when you watch Lupe Pintor's interviews like the last 6-7 years, I mean, he has nothing but good things to say about Canelo. Like, oh yeah, Canelo is a great champion. He's the best of Mexico. I think he's a great representative. I think he's done great. I don't know why people hate him so much. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you listen to these guys. Chavez is back there embracing the guy. He has nothing but good things to say about him. Says he's one of the best ever. Like, that's Chavez saying that. But we got Paulie Malignaggi, the Mexican legends. They just don't like the guy. Ooh, Nacho and Juan Manuel Marquez. Are those the two dudes you're talking about or what? Can somebody explain, like, who are you talking about, Paulie? That, or you've seen some very outdated footage. That's what you're doing. Okay? I'm just saying. Like, you're looking, they stop, but most importantly, stop speaking for the fan base, bro. Like I'm just saying, oh, the Mexican people are not gonna tolerate X, Y, and Z. Like, you know what, Paulie? Sit this one out. Okay? Sit it out is what you should do. With that said, the reality is, guys, that David Benavidez is fighting in mid-June. Canelo didn't grab his hand and make him sign a piece of paper to fight in mid-June. He's going to fight Vajdik. If he loses the fight, forget it, right? And everyone's going to blame Canelo if he loses the fight, by the way. You lost! Fucking Canelo! He wouldn't have lost this fight if Canelo would have just fought him. It's going to happen. Now, I'm expecting David to win, though, but like, if it's a tough fight, he takes some damage, is he going to be ready for September? I don't know, man. Like that's just the truth, bro. Like, why are you fighting in mid-June if you want a Canelo fight in September? It doesn't make sense to me. But okay, whatever, okay? And then but that's it. I mean, I want to see the fight. I'm all for the fight. I really am. Okay. Now, June, like July, August, September, it's still 3 months technically to recover and get better. So it's not that far out. Canelo's done it. Canelo's fought 2 months in between. But is Benavidez as chingón as Mayweather? I'm sorry, not Mayweather. Canelo, that he could do that? I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he isn't. If he's as chingón, he should be able to beat Vajdik and then fight 3 months later. If he's as chingon as Canelo. If he's that chingon, you guys keep telling me how chiludo David Benavidez is, right? I keep hearing about how he's a man's man and he's the best and ain't nobody can beat this dude and he's going to destroy everybody and Canelo's running scared and this, that, and the third, right? He say he can knock out Canelo. Blah, blah, blah. His dad's over here, talking all that shit. Okay, cool. So what? You can't fight 3 months later or what? Canelo did it, but you can't do it or what? Like I just want to know. I just want to know. Like, I don't know. I think it depends on how the fight goes. Maybe he pulls out of the fight. I don't know. All I know is that I don't want the Berlanga fight. I do not in any way, shape, or form want a Berlanga fight. Edwin Castillo, he outlanded Mungia, wave Benaduquez to get in the ring while the menstrual monster just smiled like a biatch. Damn. Man. Harsh words from Edwin Castillo. I appreciate the support, brother. Ivan Mora. Bro, watching a little hate is funny. They are the worst. Terrible. Just terrible. Tell me the Mexican monster can come back 3 months later, bro. Like, I mean, I'm just saying. That's that. Shout out to Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar, like, we all know. Do me a favor. Let's do this experiment. Everybody watching right now on YouTube, in the chat, put it in quotations. What would have Oscar De La Hoya's first tweet be if Mungia would have won last night? What would his tweet look like? Give it to me in quotations and put it in the chat for me. You know what I mean? Tell me what you believe Canelo, I'm sorry, in quotations, what Oscar De La Hoya would have tweeted. First thing that comes to mind, and I'll put him up here. Andre Rodriguez says, payback. All quotes. Okay. PYP Boxing, new face of boxing. All right. So, okay. You guys are thinking that's not as bad as I was thinking, to be honest. You know what I mean? I don't know what that means. Figueroa, 8 ball. Okay. I don't know what Oscar was going to do with that, but eat meat and be a winner, says Remy. Edwin Castillo. I'm getting you fishnets, baby. Man. Damn. Jesus Christ. Well, his first tweet, you guys can keep on coming if you want. His first tweet after Ryan won was, where are my haters at? Right? So he did that with Ryan in a Ryan Garcia fight where his fighter won against Haney, who he doesn't really have anything against Haney. Like, what would he have said if Canelo would have lost this fight? You know what I mean? Just think about it. 8 balls cocaine. Oh, it's okay. Got it. All right. Learning something new every day. Iki Train. I am. I'm definitely going to watch the fight. And I'm off Monday, so if I stay up and to watch it, it's all good. You know what I mean? Or I might just wake up early. Gordon Ramsay, hide your entire kitchen. Oh, man. Brother. Oh, man. You know what's funny? Because Oscar's doing this whole thing where I get it. It's like the 8 Mile Eminem thing where he just airs out all his shit. What do you got to say about me now? And so he's owning up to the fishnets thing, and he did a video, and people are like, yeah, Oscar, he's owning up to it. You can't say nothing to him now. But one thing Oscar never does is do anything with spatulas and kitchen utensils. Like, I want to see him own up to that one. This is what I want to see him do, quite frankly. You know what I mean? What do you mean by that, Andrea? Now, anyways, mandatory watch. What am I missing? Oh, he's you gotta watch him. It's mandatory that you watch him. Okay, I was thinking about like his mandatory. Like I like who are you talking about? Sam Goodman or some shit? I don't know. Like I was like what? But I got you. No kidding. The kitchen will run slow tomorrow. Ain't no way he's fighting. He is must watch TV. I like in a way. He's I mean, man, the guy's really good, so you can't deny. You know what I mean? And then to sell out the Tokyo Dome, $20 million gate, unbelievable. Then you got idiots out here wanting to come to America. You know what I mean? Let me tell you something. If you were a super bantamweight and you were the mandatory to one of Inoue's belts, right? And you're from, I don't know, somebody give me a city. Give me a city in the U.S., any city. Somebody put in the chat, any city. Give me a city. Who's going to put the first city? Give me a city. Give me a city. Anybody. There's a bit of delay on StreamYard, but give me any city in the U.S. with the state. City and state. City and state. Give it to me. Anywhere. Anywhere. Pick the best state you could think of, worst state you could think of. It doesn't matter to me. Give me a state. There we go. El Monte, California. So, if you were from El Monte, California, and you earned your stripes, and then you win your eliminator, and they name you Mauricio Suleiman, it goes like this to you. You order the Minotaur to Naoya Inoue, a great champion of the sport, right? And then your manager comes up to you, right? And he goes like this. Hey, I don't think we should go to Japan. I think Inoue should come fight us over here. He needs to come to America. Because why should he fight over there? If you want to be a real deal, you got to fight in America. And we're going to bring this fight to California. We'll do it somewhere over here. All right. So I'm going to argue for you that Inoue needs to come to America. As the fighter, the first thing you should do at that point is fire that manager. Okay? Because that manager is costing you money. Okay? Now, no manager smart enough would do that, but I don't think. Okay? But you need to listen to me. Naoya Inoue is the money man. Did you see when Fulton was in shock when his trainer was like, oh, we'll pull out of this fight if, and he's like, no, what? I mean, $4 million, buddy. What do you mean? You kidding me? You're for real? He's the money man. You go where the money's at. If you're a fighter, you want to fight in Japan. It's bigger in Japan. The fans appreciate you more in Japan. The fans here in the United States don't even appreciate their fighters, bro. So, like, well, why would you come here? For what? The fans in America don't even support the fighters in America. But you want Inoue to come over here? Americans or any fighter goes to Japan and they get flooded at the airport and ask for autographs and treated like royalty. Why the fuck? And treated with respect. So why the fuck would you want to fight over here? That's stupid, bro. And the people arguing that are stupid. So that is all I got. Anyway, guys, I got to get going. I have work today, so that is that. It's these boxes. Check out the round table tomorrow. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.